Welcome.
Hey, welcome to this week's Bible study of Hosea with Mina and Tia of Women of Peace.
Hey.
This week we're in chapter 7 and we're starting at verse 13. So let's jump right in. Woe to them because they have strayed from me. Destruction to them because they have rebelled against me. I long to redeem them, but they speak about me falsely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Just gonna pause right there. He longs to keep us in his shelter. He longs for us. And I've been really loving this Tagalog worship song called Lilim, which means in his shelter. So I've been really thinking about this concept. Not only has he prepared it for us, not only is it exactly catered to our needs, not only is it the safest place for us to be, but he longs for us to be there.
Yeah.
And it's our own tendency to stray from what is the most healing for us that causes our demise. And I'm gonna put us both on blast. Yesterday I had a really bad migraine. Somebody might have too, because I strayed from what I knew I needed, which was water. And it's that right there. I know I needed it. I need it every day. But I let myself get to that point of a throbbing migraine, and this is exactly what he's talking about. He longs for us to do the simple thing, remain in him, drink some water. But we have a tendency
because
to
the Lord
reject.
is our water.
That one.
He is.
That one.
He is.
Yeah.
And I was just telling her earlier, she was like, so you don't have a migraine anymore? I said, no, I prayed about it. I prayed that thing away.
We really live by pray without ceasing. That's a whole lifestyle over here.
Yeah. And I was just telling her, I was like, I don't know. I was just sitting there with a migraine. I was on day 3 of the headache, and I was like, oh yeah, I could pray about this, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe I should ask God to take this migraine away. I'd be praying all day. I'm talking to him all day. Just maybe throw that in.
I believe that you
know
could be
what I mean?
delivered
Throw
from that
a little
migraine.
request,
Okay.
God, take this migraine, please.
Worship and stomp this migraine away.
But it works,
Yeah.
though. Literally, I do not have a migraine anymore, and I did not drink the water.
Don't listen to her.
I was supposed to drink water. I didn't. But God loves me anyway.
That one.
He's faithful.
Yeah. That one. Okay, jumping down to 14. They do not cry out to me from their hearts, but wail on their beds. And this is where it gets crazy. They slash themselves, appealing to their gods for grain and new wine, but they turn away from me. Yeah, this is where he gets really real with us. This is why I love the book of Hosea, because he's saying the uncomfortable things.
I was going to say, uncomfy mirror.
Yeah. That it's a whole bag, but just something to touch on is, we don't cry out to him from our hearts sometimes, and that's what hurts him. So are we doing shallow, mindless prayers?
Yes.
From memory or from repetition and routine? Or are we really praying from the heart? Are we spending that quality time with him? Again, circling back to the Lord as our husband, if you were to give your husband quality time, but you're on your phone and you're not, engaged with him, that doesn't count. That doesn't build a healthy marriage. So same goes for the Lord, our husband. He wants to hear what's in your heart. And it kind of reminds me of the fact that the Lord courts us. He not only does he reign over our life, but he pursues us and he courts us. So think about when you're courting and you're maybe a teenager and you're on the phone, or nowadays you're texting and you're cupcaking, and you just want to be on, the line all the time. What's your favorite color? What are your fears? What do you dream about? What moves you? This is what he wants from us. The simple things, the little things that make the whole person. Because he already knows us because he created us, but he wants to know that we trust him with all of it.
Yeah. So something big that me and Mina talk about a lot is intentionality.
Yeah.
And to me, that's really what stands out is that he's asking not just to come to me, but to be intentional. Like, don't just pray. Like, be intentional about it. Be in this moment with me. You know?
Because he's Emmanuel. He's the God with us. He's always with us. But are we giving that same energy back? Keep that same energy.
Wow. Yeah.
And being present with him.
Yeah. Like, let's not let this be a one-way relationship where
Wow.
he's fully pursuing us, but we're not doing our part. Like,
wow.
Can we come meet him halfway? Like,
At least.
he will meet you where you are, but like, you gotta like turn to him. You gotta show up. You gotta do something.
Yeah.
You have to do something. You have to want him to.
Even the little things that are big in your heart, like he sees that sacrifice. He sees that intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so good. Wow.
I love it. Okay, down to 15. I trained them and strengthened them, but they plot evil against me. So it had me thinking about like this topic of generational curses. And at times it's hard for us to accept like the purity, fullness, and abundance of the love of God because we've only been exposed to perverse love. Love that expects something in return, that brags, that does not rejoice in the truth, you know? So when we receive this, the purest form of love, we don't know what to do with it. We turn from it. And we call it something that it's not.
Yeah, and just a quick shameless plug. Mina actually just did a series on breaking generational curses on her personal page. So go check that out on IGTV or IG Live.
Yeah,
I
it's saved on my page as an IGTV series. It's called Generational Curse Destroyers, and my page is at Low-Key Mina. You'll find it there.
Yeah, so definitely talking about it from this same biblical perspective of what it looks like when you have that.
Yeah. We talk about, have different guests every week, and we talk about replacing generational curses with generational blessings. So kind of shifting that narrative into the focus of what God promises to us as we seek him. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So jumping down to 16, I love this verse. They do not turn to the Most High. They are like a faulty bow. So when I was reading this, the Lord gave me a vision of an archer. And archery, it requires focus and precision. So you have to set your sight. You have to have that strength and that know-how. And then you have to release and trust that your arrow is going where it needs to go. So when we're turning to him, if we don't do it with focus and we don't do it with precision, it can easily reflect the world rather than the Most High. So if we turn to him with the lens of our addiction that we have in this culture to anger and fear, and then we project that onto God, what relationship are we even able to foundationalize? It takes focus and precision to know who you're pursuing, what is the heart of God? What does he promise for me? In what way did he create me? Who does he say I am? And then that's where your precision comes in when you're building this relationship with him.
Wow. That is so good. You know how you read the Bible and then you read it again, and you read it again. You're like, oh yeah, I've read, this book or this verse 1,000 times, but then all of a sudden it hits different. You're like, I read this before.
We always be like, this can't be the same Bible. This can't be the same one.
That just, wow.
Yeah.
The faulty bow, like that imagery is.
Yeah. Because, the target is only so big. God's heart is a specific location.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be close, but not quite there.
Yeah.
If you're putting God in a box.
Yeah, and he's always like, it's in the Bible. It says that the road to heaven, it talks about it. It is narrow, and the road to destruction is wide. Like, it's easily accessible, but like to get to heaven, it's a narrow road. It's a narrow path.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when you think about having a faulty bow, you have a narrow path. You have to make sure you make it in there.
Yeah.
Like how you're talking about hitting that mark. That's so, so important. And you can't do it if you don't have the right tools. A
If you
faulty
don't have
bow is not going
Jesus,
to do it.
if you don't have Jesus,
Because he is the tool.
Really, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on like believers or new believers. But the thing is that like God doesn't want you to miss. He longs for you to hit your target. So imagine yourself as the archer and Jesus behind you, guiding you.
Wow.
That's exactly what salvation
so
looks
beautiful.
like. Yeah.
Yes.
Not mad at you, not waiting for you to fail, not narrowing it even more, but guiding you perfectly. So it's really not even your action. You never even had that skill. You never had the ability, but you do have the grace.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my take on Hosea 7. Let us know.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Let us know what stood out to you when you read it. Like, was there a certain verse that you came across that maybe you've heard it before, you've read it before, and you felt like it was your first time?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm feeling that right now.
We would love to hear, but we'll see you next week with Hosea 11. Bye.
Bye.